Hello, look, I have a blender in today's video. It is, I guess it's May 1st. Goodness. Yep. So I just want to say a few things to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. I really enjoyed going through your papers. I enjoyed doing the video feedback a lot, and I hope you guys found it helpful. I especially love that, you can like stop and start and you have this record that you can return to and use in a way that works for you, as opposed to me just yammering and then you trying to remember what I said, which is always a challenge in writing conferences. So looking ahead, I feel like this last part could potentially be confusing, or people are really particularly worn out at this point, because usually by this point in the semester we're worn out, and this year it's, as it is. This paper 3 is a research paper proposing a solution to a problem in your field. I know you might not propose the best solution in the universe. Again, like, we're just trying to have you take the first step into being a person who is putting a solution out there and not just a person who is only taking information in. So that paper has to have at least one peer-reviewed journal as a source in it. And again, I will say, please look at the peer-reviewed journals and enjoy goofing around with that process. Certainly don't read a lot of articles. That's exhausting. You can look at a lot of abstracts and summaries. That's why those things are written that way, because nobody has time to read. A lot of this professional material is really long and really hard to read. So that's the whole reason they have all these summaries and abstracts, so that everyone can look through and be like, oh, this isn't the one I'm interested in. Oh, this one is part of what I'm looking at. Okay, so that's all paper 3. When you are done with paper 3, let's say that my topic is, oh boy, here we go with the random examples I pull from my head. They sometimes get really scary. My example is in the field of agriculture. See, there I go using that one again. Let's say veterinary medicine. Yeah, in the field of veterinary medicine, I propose that we should have a special, oh God, no. In the field of agriculture, I'm going to suggest that we should grow wheat, which has only a little blue thing on it and not a little red thing on it. This isn't really improving, is it? Okay, but I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to talk in my paper about what the blue thing is, and then I'm going to talk about what the red thing is, and then I'm going to say, here's why we should do this, and here's how much it might cost, and stuff like that to present my argument in my paper, right? Okay, and so then you come back to, you're going to present paper 3 to your classmates. And your classmates are not people in agriculture, which is why I always use that example. So you will look at your paper 3 and think, like, what in here could be useful to my audience, which is other students who are enrolled in the class. So for my ridiculous and bizarre and pretty lame example from agriculture, people in the class are, for the most part, I hope, voters who may not understand what could help them to vote more according to their values, more according to what they think should happen, if they understood more about how the Kansas state government, or, I mean, we'll mostly think about Kansas, law X is applying to this stuff, or federal regulation that is applying to this stuff. Or you can think about your fellow classmates as consumers also, right? Like, they buy flour. And so what should they know about what kind of flour to buy in order to support wheat that's grown with the blue thing and not the red thing? It's like an agriculture crossed with the Matrix. It's not good. So thinking through, like, what could my classmates get out of this that would be useful as citizens, voters, consumers. You can think about family relationships as well as humans with family relationships, and You can also, with health stuff, think about as humans with bodies and minds that need to be taken care of, and all that kind of stuff. At any rate, what would be useful from my paper for the class? In order to do that in a way that actually is like real, I mean school real, not real. You are going to have a little survey that you write, 3 to 5 questions that classmates will respond to, so that you will know kind of where people are coming from. If you're doing my ridiculous example, it might be a question about like, what do you know that wheat comes in 2 different varieties? One's with a little blue and one's with a little red. God, it's like political too. That's a terrible example. You need to find out what your audience knows. You need to find out if they're aware of the choices they make, perhaps, related to this thing. Some of the terminology, some of the vocabulary that you might be using. Do they know what that means, or do they not know what that means, or what do they think it means? That can be great questions. So you write the paper, you think about your audience and write a pre-survey. You do your presentation, which will be finally someone else doing presentations besides me, over and over here in my studio. Excuse me, and then you will have a post-survey, so you can see, what did people get out of my presentation? Did I get through to them what I wanted to get through to them, and what would I do? And you'll be able to see what I would do differently. Your very last project is the easiest one that you do. Your very last project is to look over your pre-surveys and think about your presentation and think about your post-surveys and write a reflection on how you did that. What were you thinking about? What did you learn from it? How did you tailor it to your audience? What worked about that? What didn't work about that? All of those things. So we saved the easiest thing for the last because everybody's tired, and to me that's a smart way to do things. Okay, so I'm just really proud of how everyone has been trying to get work done, because I know this is a very, very, very difficult time to try to get work done. I appreciate all your hard work, and I'm really excited to see what you come up with once you start reading peer-reviewed journals, and once you start, well, people have already started handing in paper 3. So that's a good thing. And let me know, please, if you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're just like, I don't think I can do this, or you're feeling like you're gonna conk out at the end here, because I have, the only good thing about this, perhaps, is that I have a lot of flexibility as far as how we can redo or change or adapt things to a way that will work for you, whether that is more time or that is doing something a slightly different way that you feel more comfortable with. Oh, and last thing I will say is, when you're doing your presentation, you do not have to appear in the presentation. I've had plenty of people who are like, I don't want to be on camera. And so they just do their whole presentation like with the camera pointed down at some paper, or the camera pointed down at some illustrations, or, it's a YouTube video just of visuals they've created and not including themselves. That's totally fine. In fact, might work better for your purposes. It's really up to you. Okay, now I need to stop this video because it's definitely too long. So I hope you have a good weekend, if you still know what weekends are. And I really get the hook. Okay, bye.